Good evening, my kids. So now let us continue with the story and let us finish it today. We have seen that Halku has lit the leaves in the mango groves and he and Jabra are feeling warmth now. Now let us continue what happened next. The leaves were all burnt up, darkness covered the orchid again. So now the leaves, after burning for a while, it burned up and then again it was complete dark. Under the ashes, a few embers smoldered, and when a gust of wind blew over them, they stood up briefly, then flickered out again. So here we have seen the fire has already burnt. So but we have seen, this is the common experience, though the fire burned from the top, but again some smolders or some embers are there inside. So when you again blow it with the air, so again it will lit up. You must have seen this during when you are doing havan and all. So this is what it has been said here. Though the fire has been completely burnt out, still when the wind was blowing, the small fire was there inside the ashes, and then again with the wind it was burning again. Halku sat by the warm ashes humming a tune. So Halku was sitting by the ashes, near the ashes, and again he was singing a tune, means singing a song. See, so now we can see, when do we sing? When we are happy, when we are in a comfort zone. So here Halku was feeling warmth, he was somehow relaxed from the severe cold. So he was singing a song. The fire had warmed him true, but as the cold began to spread, he felt drowsy. So now the fire had warmed him, given him a warmth, but again when the cold, because we have seen the fire has already burnt out. So when the cold was again attacking him, he began to feel little sleepy because now he is little comfortable. Jabra gave him a loud bark and ran towards the field. Halku realized this meant a pack of wild animals had probably broken into the field. So now when they both were sitting, Jabra and Halku, near the fire, all of a sudden Jabra gave a loud bark and moved towards the field. So this simply means that some of the animals, pack means we have learned it is a collective noun. So a group of animals had entered the field. They might be blue bugs, they must be grazing. He began to hear the sound of nibbling. So now they might be blue bug. Blue bug means nilgai. So they are very much problem, or they are very much enemy for the crops. So they are enemy of the farmers, we can say that. So the blue bug must have entered. He was simply guessing, and he could even hear the nibbling. Nibbling means biting. When we are biting something, that is nibbling. He thought, no, with Jabra around, no animals can get into the field. He would have rip it to shreds. So he thought that because Jabra was already there, so no animal could ever enter the field. And Jabra, what will Jabra do? It will kill the animal. It must have been mistaken. Now there is no sound at all. So now Halku is thinking that the nibbling sound which he was hearing, that was simply a illusion. That was simply he heard. It is not the real one, because he thought when Jabra is around the field, no animals can ever dare to enter the field. Okay. He shouted, Jabra, Jabra. Jabra went on barking and did not come to him. So again he called for Jabra, but Jabra did not come back. Then again there was a sound of munching and crunching in the field. So munching means again eating, and crunching means stamping the field or the crops. So he could hear this sound again. He could not have been mistaken this time. So first when he heard the nibbling sound, he thought that was his simply mistake. He must have simply heard, but when he heard for the second time, he was confirmed that animals have entered his field. It really hurt to think of getting up from where he was. It was so comfortable there. It seemed intolerable to go to the field in the cold and chase after animals. So he was very much warm near the fire. He was feeling very much comfortable. So definitely he don't have the guts to get up and go to the field chasing the animal. He didn't stir, so he did not move from the place where he was sitting. He shouted, "Hello, hello, hello." So this is simply a call. He was calling Jabra. Jabra started barking again. There were animals eating his field just when the crop was ready. So here the crop was already ready for the harvest, but the animals are now simply destroying the whole field. What a fine crop it was, and it was a fine crop. And these cursed animals were destroying it. So now Halku is abusing the animals that it was a very fine growth or the it was a very fine crop, but the animals are destroying the crop now. With a firm resolve, he got up and took few steps, but suddenly a gust of wind pierced him with a sting like a scorpion, such that he went back and sat again by the extinguished fire and stirred up the ashes to warm his chilled body. So somehow when he heard that the animals are continuously spoiling or destroying the field, he thought he somehow become bold enough to stand and go to the field. But all of a sudden a wind blew and he sat back again near the fire, and he started simply moving the ashes so that some fire can be found inside. See, people, one thing has been compared here. The strong gust of wind has been compared to a piercing of a scorpion. So when a scorpion stings, it is very much painful. So here even the wind pierced the body of Halku, and it was giving the pain as a sting of a scorpion. Scorpion we know, Bichu. Okay. Halku went on sitting peacefully near the warm ashes. His drowsiness held him motionless as though with ropes. So now Halku again sat back to the place near the fire, and again his drowsiness means he was feeling sleepy. So because of the drowsiness he became motionless. He cannot move, and though as if the drowsiness had tied him like a rope, he cannot move any further. Wrapped in his shawl, he fell asleep on the warmed ground near the ashes. And then he wrapped himself with a shawl, and the ground near the burning fire was little warm, and he slept comfortably on that ground. When he woke in the morning, the sun was high, and Munni was saying, "Do you think you are going to sleep whole day? You came out here and had a fine time, while the whole field had been flattened." So now Munni is saying he slept there very comfortably, and by the time it was morning, Munni came to visit the field, and she found that Halku was sleeping. So she woke him up and told him that you are sleeping here very comfortably, and by this time the whole field has been destroyed. Halku got up and said, "Then you have just come from the field." "Yes, the whole field ruined, and you could sleep like that. Why did you bother to put up the shelter anyway?" So here Halku told, "Are you coming from the field?" Because where is Halku? He is in the mango grove. So he asked Munni, "Are you coming from the field?" Then Munni said, "Yes, I am coming from the field, and whole field has been ruined now." Okay. So Halku shot an excuse. "I nearly died and just managed to get through the night, and you worry about your crop." So definitely he cannot accept that he was feeling sleepy. He had lit a fire. So he gave an excuse that it was bitter cold yesterday and somehow I survived. Otherwise, because of the severe cold, I would have died, and rather than worrying about me, you are worried about the crop. Then the two of them walked to the edge of their land. He looked. The whole field had been trampled. Munni's face was shadowed with grief, but Halku was content. So they moved toward the field, and they were looking by the side of the field, and the whole field was destroyed. Munni was very sad, but Halku was satisfied. Okay, can you tell me why? Because Munni was sad because the whole crop has been destroyed. She was worried now what they will do. But Halku was content. So Why he was content? Because somehow he was happy that he need not to sleep in the field from today onwards. Munni said, now you'll have to hire yourself out to earn some money to pay off the rent and taxes. With a contented smile, Halku said, but I won't have to sleep night out here in the cold. So now Munni is told that now he has to work as a hired labor in other field, then only he would be able to pay the tax to the landlord. But Halku was satisfied. He was little relieved that he don't have to sleep outside in the cold night outside in the field. So here students, by this we complete the story. But again, the story simply tells you the pathetic, pitiable condition of a farmer. Basically the Indian farmer, how pressurized they are, how suppressed they are. So let me know if any doubt you are having. So tomorrow be ready with your copy and pen, and we will go with the question and answer. Till then, continue learning. Good night. God bless you all.